5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is About Space, America's return to space, with news and information on our U.S. space program.
From our About Space Today World Headquarters, I'm John Gomez. 2 NASA employees win an award for their work on the DART mission. Tom Hanks visits Johnson Space Center for his new project. And a comet with horns is heading toward Earth. You'll hear about all of this as the world is listening to About Space Today.
Come to the land of orange groves and palm trees. Come to the land of theme parks. Come to the land of sunny beaches and the azure waters of the Atlantic Ocean. So come and visit Florida for lasting memories. Email us. Email david.ddcruiseandtours@gmail.com or call D&D Cruise and Tours at 877-747-8631 for your next family, cruise, or theme park vacation. Let us provide you your next visit with our travel experience, not experimentation. We are members of IATAN and CLIA. Email david.ddcruiseandtours@gmail.com. Serving the Southeast, traveler since 1985.
Welcome back. On October 17th, NASA employees Brian Key and Scott Bellamy accepted the Samuel J. Heyman Service to America Medal on behalf of the mission team for the first planetary defense test known as DART. NASA's Double Asteroid Redirection Test Mission successfully impacted a known asteroid, Dimorphos, in September 2022 and altered its orbit, demonstrating one planetary defense method that could be used to protect Earth from a potentially hazardous asteroid on a collision course with our home planet if one were ever discovered. Let's listen to Brian Key talk about the DART mission and what it means to him.
When some asteroids hit Earth, they break up on entry into the atmosphere. If it's big enough, it can cause a whole lot of damage, and we want to avoid that. What DART also allowed us to show is if we do happen to find an asteroid that would impact the Earth, we might, if we catch it early enough, be able to alter its trajectory so that it won't, and thus preventing the possibility of a very bad event.
Brian Key's co-worker Scott Bellamy had a more lighthearted explanation of the DART mission.
Basically, we played pool, we played billiards with this smaller asteroid called Dimorphos, and we showed that if we impacted the smaller asteroid correctly, we could alter its orbit around the larger asteroid.
Brian Key and Scott Bellamy served as program manager and mission manager for DART, respectively, and are based in the Planetary Missions Program Office at NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama. A follow-up mission by the European Space Agency called HERA is scheduled to launch in 2024 to further assess DART's impact on Dimorphos. In a bit of entertainment news, actor Tom Hanks was spotted at the Johnson Space Center in Houston recently. Hanks was seen being given a tour of Mission Control and the Space Vehicle Mock-Ups facility before filming scenes for The Moonwalkers, A Journey with Tom Hanks, an immersive audio and video installation debuting at Lightroom, a new art center in London. The Moonwalkers will share the history of the Apollo missions and NASA's plans to return to the moon. Apollo 13 astronaut Jim Lovell, portrayed by Hanks in the 1995 film of the same name, talked about meeting Hanks for the first time and how impressed he was with his dedication.
When Tom came to Houston to scout the movie, I invited him to my house just west of Austin. We met at the airport, and I thought it might be fun to take him back to the house in my plane. The flight to my home takes 15 minutes. I took an hour and a half. I did things that test pilots do. Approaches to stalls, unusual attitudes. But Tom really hung in there, And it was from that moment that I saw Tom would not have it any other way. A total sense of commitment. And not only commitment to his performance, but looking back, a commitment to the reawakening to a national interest in the Apollo missions through this film and the miniseries From the Earth to the Moon.
Moonwalkers, A Journey with Tom Hanks, will also feature interviews between Hanks and the Artemis II crew. It runs from December 6, 2023 through April 21st, 2024 in London. 12P/Pons Brooks, a comet 3 times the size of Mount Everest, about 18.6 miles in diameter, the size of a small city, recently exploded and is heading toward Earth for the second time in 4 months. It's what's known as a cryovolcanic comet, or a cold volcano that erupts with ice instead of fire. New York Post features reporter Ben Cost talks here about Pons Brooks.
The British Astronomical Association, which is closely monitoring 12P, were made aware of this explosion after noticing that it appeared dozens of times brighter due to the light reflected by its coma. And the coma is the cloud of gas surrounding its center. This instance was particularly unique because the Arctic blast created the shape of what looked like horns.
You heard him right. Horns. That's why Pons Brooks was recently nicknamed the Devil Comet. Although it appears to have horns, some experts think it looks more like the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. 12P will make a close approach to Earth on April 21st, 2024, and will be visible to the naked eye. So if you want to get a real clear look, get your telescopes ready. Make sure you check out our Facebook page, aboutspace.today, for launches and landings, and invite your family and friends to listen weekly. Be sure to join Space Coast News editor Don Meyer every Friday for America in Space. To all of our listeners around the world and here in the United States, thanks for joining me. I'm John Gomez, and this has been About Space Today.